Meanwhile, a new voting rights lawsuit has been filed on behalf of black residents in rural Jones County, North Carolina. A lawsuit alleges that no blacks have served on the Jones County Board of Commissioners since 1998, and that the county's current at-large voting system prevents black residents from electing black candidates in their districts. Also in North Carolina, the state Supreme Court has put a planned merger of the state's election boards and its ethics commission on hold. The ruling is seen as at least a temporary victory for Democratic Governor Roy Cooper. The merger of the Elections Board and Ethics Panel was one of the several moves state Republican lawmakers made in December to quickly dilute the power of the incoming governor because the Republican governor, Pat McCrory, lost. Joining us to break all of this down, Kristen Clarke, President and CEO of the Lawyers Committee for Civil Rights Under Law. Kristen, what we do know, Trump folks keep lying about voter fraud. We do know that these voter suppression attempts are real, and you have documented evidence as a result of this lawsuit.
That's right. Voter suppression and voting discrimination is alive and well, which is why it is so frustrating to hear officials, including our president, time and time again, repeating this myth, this mythology about vote fraud. What we focus on at the Lawyers Committee for Civil Rights Under Law are the real problems that people face today. And Jones County, North Carolina is one place where voting discrimination is rife. You have a 5-member board of commission, no African American elected in virtually 25 years. And that is because voting is racially polarized. White voters vote as a bloc historically to defeat candidates who are backed by black voters time and time again.
So in this county, they have at-large seats?
That's right.
As opposed to single-member districts?
That's right.
And look, this goes back 40 years for African Americans. I mean, I know lawsuits that took place in Dallas and all kind of other cities across the country dealing with single-member districts because black folks, by going at large, you're basically having whites in larger population determine leadership.
And that's right. And North Carolina is the belly of the beast. We know that voting discrimination is rife across North Carolina. There was a Fourth Circuit decision this summer that said that state lawmakers acted with almost surgical precision in putting in place election laws that discriminate against minority voters. So it's time that this federal government and the new administration and Attorney General Jeff Sessions turn to the real issues at hand, which is voting discrimination and voter suppression. It was rife throughout the 2016 election cycle, and it is present today. This is the first major federal Voting Rights Act case filed in 2017. We're not just about resisting all the bad things, but really focusing on doing the hard work in places like Jones County, North Carolina, where discrimination remains real and present today.
So when are Republicans going to learn from this?
Well, first of all, to say white people vote in a block for white people without saying also black people vote in a block for black people is kind of disingenuous because both things are happening.
I'm sorry. Please give me the evidence where you have African Americans who might be slightly larger than whites in a county, and then they're going to vote for all black folks.
I'm not talking about quantity.
No.
Sue,
give me the evidence.
Both ways.
Sue, give me an example. Sue, give me an example.
Look. What you're talking about here is the definition of gerrymandering.
No. This is not gerrymandering. No. First of all, First of all, explain to her gerrymandering.
Apples and oranges. Gerrymandering is something that we see every 10 years when a party, usually political parties, will redraw maps in ways that lock in incumbents. Totally different issue. What we have in Jones County is white folks are a numerical majority, and they don't support candidates who are backed by black voters. And we looked at the evidence over 25 years and saw an unbroken pattern. That is just the reality in Jones County. And so the relief that we seek is creating single-member districts that will give black voters a fair opportunity, which they've never had, to elect candidates of their choice to the county commission.
Isn't gerrymandering irrelevant in a at-large system because you don't have district lines to gerrymander?
Exactly.
Precisely.
Totally different issue.
Right, and what I'm saying is you're asking for those lines.
33%
No, Sue. They're not asking for gerrymandering. What they're asking for is, as opposed to a system that actually is racially exclusionary, saying allow people who live in the area to be able to choose their representative. And so we know the schemes. The schemes have been Alabama. Sue, there is legal history here. Alabama, Mississippi, Louisiana, Arkansas, Texas, Florida, North Carolina, South Carolina, where they tried to create at-large districts. We just saw in Pasadena, Texas, a month ago, the ruling came out that they tried to discredit Hispanic voters. Why? At-large district.
Yakima, Washington. Same thing.
Exactly.
Yeah. So it's not only in the South.
No, right.
It's all over the country.
And so this is about representation, and that is you wanting to have representation as a constituent.
All they want is a fair shot, a fair opportunity to elect candidates of their choice. They make up about 1/3 of the population. They've never had a seat at the table. That's all they want, a voice in their democracy.
So you have an all-white board.
That's right. That ignores the interests of the African-American community. They've raised issues like concerns with the police department.
Gotcha.
And they fall on deaf ears. They want a seat at the table. So the focus on vote fraud is so frustrating because these are the real issues that grip our nation.
But that's why they're focused on voter fraud.
That's right.
Because they don't want to talk about voter suppression because that is all by design.
That's
I got to go. Christian, I appreciate it. Keep giving them hell and keep breaking it down for us. When y'all focus on voter suppression, I'll appreciate that, so that's all I'm saying. Christian, thanks a lot.
Kickstart your day at 7 and get the news you need from the perspective you want. NewsOne Now with Roland Martin, every weekday morning at 7 on TV 1.